You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to a new edition of Shelby County Schools Report. We're coming to you from the studios of Germantown High School Television on the Germantown High School campus. I'm Scarlett Simpson.
And I'm Avery Moore. Each month we highlight various people, programs, and events making a difference in our school system. This month, we are excited to introduce you to outstanding teachers who go above and beyond. Their dedication is why they were named SCS Teachers of the Year.
Parents will want to stay tuned for today's SCS Focus. Executive producer Allison Long is joined by Shelby County Schools Chief Financial Officer Lynn Johnson. They will discuss a new concept called student-based budgeting and explain how it will affect your student.
Later, our Program of the Month feature highlights SCS's exceptional children and health services. We'll go inside 2 clinics specially designed for teachers and students.
Our first Teacher of the Year is Natasha Medford, an 8th grade science teacher at Ridgeway Middle School. This year, Miss Medford celebrates her 8th year in education. She says her goal is to make every day better than the last.
What allows the heat to transfer to this spoon?
I'm excited to come in her class and to see what she's going to teach me today, see what I'm going to learn.
I feel like those students get a whole lot more than what they would get. So they don't just get a science teacher, they get someone who loves the subject.
Convection means that it's going to deal with air rising, sinking, may sometimes go through a liquid.
It's easy to see why Natasha Medford is one of the most popular science teachers at Ridgeway Middle.
Whatever competition I asked them to participate in, it was like me. I want to go with you. I want to do whatever you're doing. Just having students who want to do things because I'm a part of it makes me feel good.
She challenges me a lot, because she knows I have the potential to be better than what I am. So she loves to put challenges ahead and, tells me to try to figure it out and find the best way to solve it.
They're talking about being a part of different programs that she's involved in. So they're excited about it. When the kids are excited, I can tell teaching's going on.
For Medford, teaching has always come naturally, even if she didn't see it at first.
I actually went to school as a nursing major, but my mother told me before I entered college that I would be a teacher. She knew before I did.
8 years after starting her career as a teacher, Medford's passion and drive was finally recognized
as one of the top in the state
when she was named Shelby County Schools Middle School Teacher of the Year.
It was a complete surprise, and I was really overwhelmed. They called me, they like, you need to report to the auditorium. And of course, I saw the camera crews, and I was like, what is this? I would credit my success to a strong work ethic. My principal has, again, I've been here 3 years, and he has allowed me to just kind of take my vision and run with it.
Medford's dedication to her students extends beyond the classroom.
She's a cheerleader just not in the classroom, but even for extracurricular activities the students are involved in. So football games, even though she has smaller children, she makes time to come to those events. And so when kids see you attend those things, they recognize that you're here for more than just a check.
Fellow teachers say Medford is someone who is always looking for new ways to help students better understand the curriculum.
So if I put a cup of coffee and a red popsicle and I leave them on the table in this room at this temperature right now, what's going to happen to them?
She's always putting in the extra hours. She calls me at 9 o'clock and she's like, this student's having a problem, how are we going to fix it? It's just the extra hours and the work ethic she has is uncomparable.
I think they would describe me as a team player, a go-getter, always pushing the students. They'll probably tell you I'm kind of strict. I enforce the rules all day long.
Medford's desire for rules and order stem from her time in the Army Reserves.
In terms of my position in the reserves, I'm a personnel officer, and so I just like to have a certain level of structure in the room.
She hopes to use her military and teaching experience to transition to a new position in SCS in the future.
I actually enjoy working with students, but I like facilitating learning through teachers. So I am looking to move into an instructional facilitator or a learning coach position.
This year, the SCS High School Teacher of the Year Award went to Tanya Mathis of Avon Lennox School. The 14-year educator leads a unique program through the U of M that she helped launch. We visited her classroom to see how she is preparing students for the next chapter of their lives.
Not be recognized in anything if you all was not doing the work. You're doing the work. You're showing our society, you're showing the stakeholders in our communities that you can be hired for your strength.
This is her Oscar moment. I think that over the years she put in a lot of good work, and she's been recognized for it. I think she should have been had a long time ago.
I think it's a calling. It's definitely a calling. I think back to a quote that when I teach, I refer back to, and that's by the late Mark Anthony. And it says, if you choose something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And when I think about my profession, I don't feel like this is work. I feel like it's a gift. Answer honestly, and that would be, good job.
I know what she does to transform the hurt in these young people.
Because she's a unique teacher in that she is very organized, she's very proactive, she has high expectations for the young people.
But when they get in this CCTP classroom and they realize Ms. Mathis ain't playing with us, she's for real. She really believes we're going to go to work.
You have never worked before. And so you need someone to give you that opportunity, to give you that first job, to show that you can do it.
She's very obnoxious and a little strict on her rules, but she is actually a wonderful and great teacher to be around with.
Something else that they ask you to attach. Good job. A cover letter. And it's not a very easy job. I'm much more than just their teacher.
She is kind of like a mom to me.
She's fair, but also she's rough in a good way. You know, she give them the tough love to get them ready for the real world.
Just give that brief details about your work experience and maybe some personal information.
The reason why, because I wanted to find a job and make a living out of myself.
A lot of young people that are in this type program, people think because they have a disability that they might not be able to achieve or might not be able to get a job, but that's not her thought.
I look for their strengths and I focus on their strength. I focus on their ability to do, to perform, and I center everything around that, and I teach them to use their strengths and assets to get them what they want.
I don't want to help older people, like help them, transport them, like drive them like to the hospital and stuff.
We want them to have realistic goals based on their strengths and their weaknesses.
Yeah, worked at the previous job, but you really didn't. Like you never worked at that job before?
Absolutely, that is correct. You have to be a creative person. You have to be motivated. And you have to have the energy and drive.
It's a must. These are citizens. These are American citizens. They have talents. They are worth. They have a worth, and if given the opportunity, they are no different than any other young person that graduates and receives a certificate from a school. They become successful.
So it's about them leading the pathway and me following behind them and guiding them in whatever it is that they said that they want to do. Do you have any special skills? Yes, you do. I'm just a selfless person. I really like helping young people who struggle. What that's about. Got to be a calling, but I do. But am I happy? I'm very happy in my career.
What great teachers we have here in Shelby County Schools. Miss Mathis and Miss Medford, along with Emily Tobkin, the Elementary School Teacher of the Year, are all in the running for the state's Top Teacher Award. It's time now for this month's SCS Focus with GHS-TV Executive Producer Allison Long.
Thank you, Scarlett. Funding public schools is one of the hardest challenges school boards face today. Next year, Shelby County Schools will implement a new funding system called student-based budgeting, which allocates dollars to schools based on the number of students enrolled. Here to explain this new system and how it will affect your student school is Chief Financial Officer Lynn Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if you could, tell us how student-based budgeting differs from the traditional model.
Absolutely. So you can think of our traditional model that says if you have a certain number of students, maybe 100 students, for each, for a classroom of 20, you get one teacher. So for every 20 students that you have, you get one. The flawless in that model is that it assumes that all the students' needs are the same. I think where student-based budgeting differs is it recognizes that students have different needs, whether they're academic, whether they're social and emotional needs in terms of addressing. And student-based budgeting, what it does is say, well, we're going to assign various weights to those needs. So we think about poverty, we think about special education, we're thinking about whether you're an English language learner, we're thinking about whether you're a high or lower achiever as well. And we allocate funding based on those different weights, recognizing that each student is unique.
So as the transition takes place, how will this affect each schools? Because I'm sure there might be some schools that are getting more money than they have in the past. Some schools might be finding they get less money. So how will this take place?
That's right. So the real driver behind this is when I came to Shelby County, one of the key things I heard from principals, parents, from students, and from community is we need to address the inequity in terms of our funding. So what this does address is that those who have the greatest needs, we're now shifting funding towards those schools. Along with that, we're also allowing our principals to have greater flexibility over the resources that they have. Mm-hmm. So while it may be true that there are some schools who might be having less resources, we're actually giving them greater flexibility in terms of what they can now do with their resources. For example, we have 2 high schools who are part of a pilot that we have for 6 schools to have full flexibility over how they use their resources. And 2 of those high schools have decided to create a freshman academy, recognizing that some kids are coming in from 8th grade to 9th grade a little bit behind, so they're providing some intensive intervention for those students at the 9th grade area. Mm-hmm. So that's just one example of how, even with the resources, how they're using it. It's not so much about the amount of resources, but how you use the resources.
Okay. And if there are some principals that may be very confident in how they lead their school, maybe with discipline or getting ready for testing, things like that, but may not feel comfortable leading the school fiscally, I guess, or
Yep.
with finances, is there a type of training program for principals and school leaders who will have this access to their money?
Absolutely. So first, there was a group of, I mentioned there was a cohort of 6 schools that have gone through a year-long training in terms of understanding what their academic vision is, what is their strategy, and then the next level is how to link that to resource decisions or budgeting decisions as well. And we've kind of gone through that training with those 6. We have another cohort of about 16 schools as well where we've done something similar. And then our traditional schools, each year we sit down with them for 45 minutes and we go over their budget. We work hand in hand, my finance team, HR, academics, and we all sit around the table and we're working together with the principals to ensure that they're making the best budgeting decisions that they could possibly make.
Great. So then when will this student-based budgeting be fully implemented in all of the schools in Shelby County?
So there's 2 components of student-based budgeting. So there's the funding component, which is that will be implemented school year 2018-19. So when students come back for school in August, it'll be fully up and running. And all principals have received their budgets. They've made their staffing decisions, working with teachers, parents, students, collectively to come up with the best decisions for their schools. And then there's the second component in terms of the flexibility in terms of their school design. Now, not all schools have full autonomy, but that's something that's going to be phased out over the next 3 years.
Okay, great. So switching subjects just a little bit,
Yep.
recently the superintendent announced that all employees would receive at least $15 an hour,
Yes.
which affects about 9%, is that correct, of this Shelby County Schools staff population. Can you tell us about why that decision was made and how you think it will affect Shelby County schools?
Absolutely. So I think part of the decision, I think twofold, right? I think one, as a district, we see it as honoring Martin Luther King's legacy, especially with MLK 50 just happening. I think the second is really thinking about economic inequality and how we address it. So the bulk of that 9% is 6% are ed assistants. And we see it as an investment back into the classroom by increasing the salary for most of our ed assistants so that they don't have to get a second job and they can concentrate on providing that support that we desperately need in our classroom.
Well, great. I know that it was a very positive announcement that was made, and a lot of employees will, of course, benefit from it. And it's great to see a company that does invest in their employees.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for taking time to spend with us today, and we appreciate all that you do. I know that you're a busy man overseeing all of this, so thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
We'll be right back with more Shelby County Schools Report.
Did you know that you don't have to wait for summer to register for the school year? Registration for 2018-19 is available now. Once you register online, you're all set for next year. No summer school visits or anything else to worry about until it's time to go back to school in August. For current SCS students, all you need to register is your PowerSchool account. If you already have one, use your same username and password to log in. Review your current information, then approve or make changes. If you don't have an account or if you have trouble logging in, contact your child's school for help. For students who are new to SCS, visit your child's zone school or our Parent Welcome Center to create a PowerSchool account. For computer access or any registration-related support, visit our Parent Welcome Center. Save the date. District-wide registration night is April 5th. All schools will be open extended hours from 4:30 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. for computer access and to provide help with online registration. Registration is your ticket to the Superintendent's Summer Learning Academy. Once you register online, you'll be guided to the online application for the summer program. Students must be registered for 2018-2019 in an SCS managed school to apply. Spaces will fill up fast, so register early and apply. For complete details about 2018-2019 online registration and the Superintendent's Summer Learning Academy, go to www.scsk12.org.
Wash, 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 wash your hands to keep them nice and clean. Wash, 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 wash your hands to keep them nice and clean. Up from the stand, down in the sand, your hands will never know where they land.
You should wash your hands after you sneeze.
It is important to wash your hands so you won't spread germs to other people.
You should wash your hands after you use the restroom. You need to wash your hands after recess.
You should wash your hands after you play with any pets.
You need to wash your hands before and after you eat.
Wash your hands before a meal.
Shelby County Schools Coordinated School Health wants you to be a superstar hand washer.
Spread the word and not the germs. Wash your hands if you blow your nose. Wash your hands if you cough.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
The SCS Family Care Center on Flicker Street is just what the doctor ordered. It is devoted to keeping SCS employees and their families healthy all year long. Find out more about it in this month's Health Corner.
are you doing?
Good. Well, I'm Tamika. I'm going to be your practitioner today.
Cough, runny nose, sinusitis, conjunctivitis, sore throats, abdominal pain. We can deal with minor medical issues.
Pain pressure.
I love coming to the clinics. They're convenient. I can always get an appointment, whether it's the day that I call or if it's the next day.
Clinics have been a great asset to our staff because what we found is that the staff feel comfortable about knowing that there's health care available during school hours.
Are you having any pressure in your face?
They feel like that's a great asset to be able to do that and not have to worry about missing a full day of work.
Shelby County Schools Family Care Centers were started in 2010. The clinic was a three-part juncture with Shelby County Schools, Cigna, and Methodist Le Bonheur Healthcare.
Right now we have 2. So it's a possibility that we may grow into maybe more locations, maybe longer hours, and maybe just more awareness for the health care of our staff.
The benefit of having an on-site employee wellness clinic would be decreased absenteeism, so you have to pay fewer subs. You would also have your medical services at a set cost.
Saved a lot of time, saved a lot of money because there's no co-payments here at the clinics.
Shelby County School employees love the fact of how convenient they are, how they dispense medication, how they are seen by a nurse practitioner. They have full medical staff.
Most of the nurses here are doctorally prepared nurse practitioners. And then we have our physicians that you see. So everyone is qualified to care.
We have to service the children, and if we're not healthy, we cannot ensure the children are healthy and the children are learning. It's a huge benefit for employees to get back to work. And why not, when you're sick, come to your own Shelby County Schools Family Care Clinic.
The Colonial Hearing, Speech, and Vision Center caters specifically for students with special needs. While the center is physically located at Sea Isle Elementary School, its reach is felt far beyond its walls.
Blue, you want to do blue stripes, blue polka dots, what?
There is a love that I have for children that I think people will never understand. Children are the most innocent, loving, kind. They have the purest heart. And when a child has a disability, they're born with a strike against them.
You want to play with the money?
Basically what we do here, we are in charge of most of the related services for students who are identified as having a disability.
Anywhere in here, like on this line where you forward everything out?
We help the students get access to the learning environment.
The services that we offer here are speech and language services.
The boy, what's he shoveling? What's he shoveling?
There are about over 300 students with hearing loss in our district.
Starfish?
We not only service those students who are able to actually hear well enough to speak, but we also service those students who have to use sign language in order to communicate their needs and their wants.
They have to get used to things, but there can be this huge smile they have on their face when it's like, oh my goodness, what am I hearing? All right, just listen for the sound and raise your hand when you hear it.
We test the students. We determine their eligibility.
Lauren, where's the ball? Good girl, there is the ball.
We complete the individualized education program.
Staying where she's supposed to stay or remaining in her designated area.
And then we assign those students out into the school district.
Number 1, dots or lines.
The actual vision services are provided as determined by the IEP team for students from pre-K all the way up to age 22.
Which gives you -2 to the X equals -308.
And with those vision students, we also have a library.
We have iPads, computers, laptops, any technology that you could basically imagine. We really try to make sure that we meet the needs of the students.
We also supplement with some equipment in the classroom to help them so they can hear.
We also have occupational and physical therapists based out of this center.
We have such a variety of expertise in this building.
Can you put some ice in your cup?
We have an assistive technology team in special education that addresses adaptive ways of helping children access and participate in their curriculum.
All of our services are free to our students, so our parents do not have to pay anything to receive services from this center.
Everyone here has a special heart for kids. So we all once were children, and many of us, saw barriers in our own lives or growing up, and that affected our choice of professional.
We are very successful in the things that we are doing.
It doesn't feel like a struggle. It doesn't feel like a job. I feel honored to be able to do that.
You get up every day and you solve a new issue so that another family, another child, another school has a successful day.
But the reason that we do it is because we have a passion and we love our children.
That wraps up this edition of Shelby County Schools Report. If you would like to learn more about the Shelby County Schools, visit us on the web at scsk12.org.
On behalf of everyone here at Germantown High School Television and Shelby County Schools, thank you for watching today's program. We'll see you next time on Shelby County Schools Report.